All right, so for today's term sheet teardown, we're going to talk about conversion discounts. And specifically, what I'm talking about is the discount that you receive in a safe or a convertible note when converting from that into equity. And usually, these are provided as a way to provide additional benefit to the investors for coming in early, for believing early and writing a check when things weren't as obvious. And helping them kind of compensate them for the risk that they took on for doing so earlier on. As with all my term sheet teardown videos, this is not legal advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. So be sure to go get a good attorney when you're going through this. But hopefully this helps set the stage of the types of questions you should be asking your attorney. So let's jump in. So one of the first things that I do when I invest in a safe or a convertible note is understand like what the discount rate is into the next round, or the conversion discount. What that is I'm going to invest in the safe or convertible note. Maybe I invest $1 million, and then fast forward in the future, they raise an equity round, and my safe or my convertible note is going to convert into equity during that round. I want to be compensated for the risk of investing now versus just waiting for the price round. And look, I get it. There's a lot of reasons why entrepreneurs want to do a safe or a convertible note instead of doing a priced round, because like price rounds are expensive. You oftentimes are giving up a board seat. You're giving up control of the business through other terms. Like there are a lot of reasons why you might want to do a safe or a convertible note. I mean, they're cheaper, they're faster, right? And you're able to kick the can down the road on valuation. So if you don't have like a strong business model yet with good revenue, it can be a little more challenging to put a value on the business. And sometimes entrepreneurs are like, let's kick that can down the road until we have like real traction. So I get all of that. But at the same time, as a VC, like I want to be compensated for the risk that I'm taking. And a discount to the next round is one way of doing that. So let's dive into some numbers. For me, like I love seeing numbers. They make things a lot more concrete. So let's diagram it up. So let's say that you invest in a safe with a 20% discount to the next round. Well, this is really simple. Let's say I put in $1 million, right? And then fast forward into the future, the company raises a Series A at I don't know, let's say $10 million valuation, pre-money valuation. So in this case, I get a 20% discount. So it's 20% of this $10 million. So that's $8 million that my $1 million is going to convert at. So I'm going to do the $8 million plus $1 million. It's going to give me $9 million quote unquote post money. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. That in turn, though, is going to give me 1 million over 9. It's going to be 11.1%. So as of right now, I own 11.1% of the company. Well, what's this worth today? This is now going to be worth $1.1 million. So I got a really nice 10% bump in valuation there. This is assuming, of course, that the company didn't raise any more money in the Series A. So let's continue the math forward. So let's say they did $10 million pre and $5 million of new capital invested. So the way this money works out is you don't just add these and say, oh, well, look, it's $15 million post. That's what you would normally do. But in this case, we have this safe that needs to convert into this. So we don't do that. But instead, we take our math from up here. So in this case, I'm going to take this 11.1% and I'm going to multiply it by this $10 million. That's going to give me this $1.1 million number, right? And then from there, I'm going to basically add these up. So that's going to give me $16.1 million as my post-money valuation in the company. And as you can see, I did face some dilution. So I take this 1.1, I divide it by 16.1, and that gives me 6.89% ownership in the company. Let's suppose for a second, though, that I didn't have this 20% discount. Then what would happen? Well, in that case, my $1 million would convert at the $10 million pre-money. So this $5 million of new money coming in would include my $1 million. So it's going to be $5 million of new plus the $1 million safe. And that gives me a valuation of 16 million post money. And then it's just 1 over 16, which is 6.25% ownership in the company. So you can see, like, I got a little bit more ownership over here thanks to this 20% discount. All right, now one of the things that also occurs that I want to take just a minute to talk about is caps as well as discounts. So if you haven't seen my other video on valuation caps, go check that one out. What happens when in a safe is very traditional for both safes and convertible notes to have both a valuation cap and a discount at conversion. Basically what that enables is for you to make money regardless of kind of what ends up happening in terms of the valuation. And what do I mean by that? A valuation cap, simply put, is the maximum value at which your safe investment will convert into equity. And then you have the discount, which is a discount to whatever the priced valuation is of the company in the future. You get a discount to that when you convert your safe investment into equity in the company. So let's just see how this plays out in the real world. So let's take our safe. Let's say that it has a $19 million cap. And let's say it has a 20% discount at conversion. Well, in this case, if I put in $1 million into the safe, let's say. All right, so we have different outcomes. So outcome number one, the company goes out, they raise a Series A round. Series A, hooray. So they raise a Series A round, and let's say they raise it at a $30 million pre-money valuation. Outcome number two, they raise at a $20 million pre-money valuation. Outcome number three, they raise at a $10 million pre-money valuation. So in this case, in the top one, $30 million is higher than 19, so the discount rate doesn't play a role here because the way the docs are going to be written, the standard is that you get your discount up until you hit your cap. So in this case, you're over the cap. So this is pretty simple. We're going to say, okay, my money is going to convert at a $19 million valuation because that's where the cap is. So that's 1 plus 19. That's going to give me a $20 million quote unquote post. It's not really the post money because we haven't included the amount of money that's being invested on top of the 30. But for our calculation purposes, it gives us a good idea of where our ownership percentage is. And then you're going to take, so that's going to be 5%, right? 1 over 20. And then you're going to multiply that 5% by the 30. And that's going to give you a valuation of your original investment of $1.5 million. This is the benefit of the cap that you're getting, right? The next case is you're going to have this $20 million pre-money. Now in this case, again, it's higher than the other one, but it's not so high that you're maxing out your potential discount. So in that case, you would take the discount here and you'd say, okay, I'm going to convert at an $18 million valuation. So plus my original $1 million investment, that's going to give me 19. So 1 over 19 is going to be 5.3%, let's call it. I'm then going to multiply this 5.3 times the pre-money valuation. That's going to give me a value of my $1 million of 1,000,000.06. And so you get this additional, 60 grand worth of value thanks to your discount rate. Then it gets even better from a discount rate perspective, although really you would prefer to have a much higher valuation and hit your cap, but at least you want some sort of discount if the company comes in below the cap. So in this case, I'm going to convert 20% discount to this $10 million or $8 million. So I do my 8 million plus 1 million. It's going to be 9 million, right? And then this 1 over 9 is going to give me 0.11% ownership in the company, which means that my investment is going to be worth $1.11 million. Because I'm going to multiply this 0.11% times 10 million, that's going to give me this. So you can see in different outcomes how this can impact the business in different ways. You can see in this case, we end up owning more of the company, which is why the value of our holdings are worth more in this particular case. And in this case, we own less of the company, but because it's really close to our cap, we end up owning a little, the value of our investment's worth a little bit more. But up here, where it's quite a bit higher than the cap, our investment is worth quite a bit more. So hopefully you can see how a cap works with a discount at conversion to give you a range of outcomes that give you a slightly better valuation than what you would normally see. In this case, right, in the $30 million case, you're getting it at a $19 million valuation. In the case number 2, you're getting it at an $18 million valuation. And in case number 3, you're getting in at an $8 million valuation. In all cases, it's better than what other investors are getting, and so you're getting a slight discount. Now, at the end of the day, is there like a huge difference between these? Not really. Like case 1 and 2 aren't that different, right? I mean, really, case 2 is basically a flat round. It's not really an increase over your cap. And in case 3, it's quite a bit lower, and so, the discount of 20% is really helping you. But it's not helping a ton. What you really want is you want the company to succeed and be valued at a much higher number, because that's going to give you a much better value on your investment. That said, all of this is just paper math, and until the company actually gets acquired or goes public, at the end of the day, it's just paper gains. And until that happens, you're not really generating a real return yet. Anyways, hopefully this is a helpful demonstration of how discount at conversion work for safes and convertible notes. If you have questions, things that I missed, or maybe didn't explain well, please add them in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give me a like and check out some of my other videos like the term sheet teardown where I talk about valuation caps. Thanks.